people ask me often if technology is really creating somewhat of a transformation in language testing, a transformation in the ways that language tests are used, a transformation in the utility of language tests throughout the curriculum and throughout society. And it's kind of a difficult question because language technology is used in so many different ways for language tests. But I think if we look back at the different types of technology-based language testing projects, we can see some evidence of transformation, whereas at the same time, we see that not everyone who works with technology for language tests is looking for transformation. I can see sort of three types of motives that people have as they start to work with technology and language testing. And the first one, I would say, is basically efficiency-centered. And the second one I would call really equivalence, an equivalence motive to create tests that are really equivalent to paper and pencil tests. And the third would be real innovation. In terms of the first one, people who have worked on trying to make testing more efficient using computer-assisted language testing would be those who have worked with computer adaptive language testing, developing tests that can be shorter, just as reliable, but because the computer is used to choose items that are appropriate, the appropriate level of difficulty for each examinee as the examinee is taking the test. We also see efficiency as the concern of a lot of the use of automatic writing evaluation, where the computer is used to evaluate students' essays. In those projects, again, the concern is to try to get the computer to do what the human raters do, but more quickly, cheaply, and efficiently. In those cases, the aim really isn't for a transformation in language testing. It's to do language testing in a way that's more efficient and cheaper. The second type of motive I mentioned was to have language testing that is delivered by computer that is equivalent to the language tests that are delivered by paper and pencil. In these types of projects, the idea is that the paper and pencil is kind of the gold standard. The paper and pencil is the well-understood language test. And so we need to kind of be suspicious of the technology as the thinking goes. And we want to create a test that produces a score that would have the same meaning as the paper and pencil test. Well, not too much of a transformation possible in those situations, because really the point is to create something that is equivalent to existing paper and pencil tests. It's the third group where we might start to see some transformations on the horizon. And in this group, I call the innovative projects in language testing. And these consist of projects where people are trying to, where the technology has really changed what can and should be tested and how that can be done. For example, tests that attempt to measure language ability in conjunction with computer literacy. Okay, so tests for which the score meaning is supposed to be something to do with how well students use their language ability with the help of or in the use of technology. Use of language ability for working with databases, searching, those kinds of things. So there, the construct meaning is really different than the language test that anyone could develop using paper and pencil. A second type of testing that really has the potential for transformation is testing where the computer is used for doing a more delicate kind of analysis of the learner's language, and thereby allowing for the computer to provide more specific feedback than what can be done using paper and pencil testing and human raters alone. In both of these cases, we can see the technology really making a change, really making a difference. So these are some of the complex issues that arise in the development or in the use of technology for language testing. And I think in the current scene, technology has really changed from being sort of something that one might choose for one reason or another, to sort of the obvious choice in a lot of testing situations. For example, in any of the courses that are delivered online, any time that students are working online for language learning, the obvious kind of testing is also going to be online as well. So there are many challenges in this area, and I think we have many potential little transformations that are on the horizon. But right now is a very exciting time in computer-assisted language testing, and I think it remains to be seen what all of the possible uses are and what all the possible changes will be.